You are smiling. You are listening to your friend's good news. Your mouth forms the right words. Congratulations, I am so happy for you. But in the silent space between your heartbeat and your breath, another feeling rises. A sting, a quiet comparison, a cold question that whispers in the back of your mind, why her and not me? That feeling does not make you a bad friend. It makes you human. And that feeling is not the enemy of your connection. It is a messenger. In this video, we will not judge this messenger. We will learn to decode its message. Using the profound wisdom of Carl Jung, we will explore the silent war that so many women face, and together, we will call for a truce. Think of the American woman in her 40s, her 50s. She has been taught to lift other women up, but she is constantly placed in an invisible arena of comparison. Career, children, appearance, the curated perfection of a life online. Imagine a woman named Susan, 48 years old. She's scrolling through her phone at the end of a long day. She sees a photo, an old acquaintance on a beautiful trip to Europe. And instead of joy for her, Susan feels a wave of irritation, a hollow ache of inadequacy. She closes the app, and the question hangs in the quiet room. What am I doing wrong? Susan's question is our question today. How do we get trapped in this painful loop of comparison? And how do we transform the mirror of competition into a doorway of true connection? This silent war, this unspoken competition, is not a flaw in your character. It is a wound in our culture. It is a form of quiet emotional violence that women have been taught to inflict upon each other and upon themselves. It lives in the backhanded compliment that sounds sweet but leaves a bitter aftertaste. It lives in the quiet judgment of another woman's choices, her body, her parenting, her ambition. It is the invisible static in a room full of powerful women, an energy of comparison that keeps us separate, guarded, and perpetually exhausted. We have been conditioned to believe that there is a limited supply of success, of beauty, of validation, and so we see other women not as allies, but as rivals for a scarce resource. We are fighting for a seat at a table without ever questioning if we could simply build a bigger table together. But to heal this wound, we must go deeper than social conditioning. We must enter the world of the psyche. And this is where the genius of Carl Jung becomes our guide. Jung understood a fundamental truth about human beings. We do not see the world as it is. We see the world as we are. He called this phenomenon projection. Imagine that your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, is like a movie projector, and the outer world, especially other people, is the blank screen. You are constantly playing the movie of your own psyche onto the screen of everyone you meet. This is why two people can meet the exact same person and have completely different experiences of them. They are watching two different movies. And the most powerful unconscious films we project come from the deepest part of ourselves, the part Jung called the shadow. Now, you may have heard of the shadow as the dark side, the part of us that holds our anger, our shame, our insecurities, and that is true. When you feel an intense, irrational irritation towards another woman, when her very presence seems to grate on you, you are likely projecting your dark shadow onto her. She is carrying a trait, a behavior that you have repressed and refused to acknowledge in yourself. Perhaps you judge her for being too loud or attention-seeking, because a part of your own soul is desperate to take up more space, to be seen and heard, but you have silenced it for years. She is simply living out a part of your own story that you have locked in the basement. But this is only half the story, and what I'm about to share with you is perhaps the most liberating and misunderstood secret of the human psyche. The shadow is not just dark. The shadow also holds your light. Jung called this the golden shadow. The golden shadow contains all of your highest potential, your brilliance, your courage, your creativity, your unique genius, all the magnificent qualities that you have yet to own and embody. And how do you find this gold? You find it through the blinding light of your envy. Let me say that again. That intense, often painful feeling of admiration and jealousy you feel towards another woman, the one who seems to have it all together, the one whose success makes you feel small, that is not a sign of your inadequacy. It is a signpost. It is the voice of your own soul, pointing directly at her and screaming with recognition, that is who we are meant to be. That light you see in her is also in us. Your envy is not a poison. It is a map. It is a map leading you directly to the disowned gold within your own shadow. The woman you envy is not your competitor. She is your mirror. She is reflecting back to you the brilliance you have yet to dare to claim for yourself. Let's go back to Susan, looking at that vacation photo on her phone. Her irritation was not truly about her acquaintance. It was never about the trip to Europe. That woman was simply a screen. Susan was projecting her own golden shadow. Perhaps she was projecting her own unlived desire for freedom, for adventure, for prioritizing her own joy. The other woman's freedom was a painful reminder of the cage she had built around her own life. Do you see the profound shift in this? This understanding changes everything. It takes you off the battlefield of comparison and places you firmly in the classroom of your own soul. The women around you are no longer a threat. They are your curriculum. The ones who trigger you are your teachers, showing you the parts of yourself you need to heal. And the ones you envy are your mentors in disguise, showing you the parts of yourself you are ready to reclaim. This is the beginning of the truce. The moment you realize the war was never with them, it was always within you. But once you see the map, once you realize your envy is pointing to your own buried treasure, how do you begin the sacred work of digging it up? How do you call your projections home? So how do you call your projections home? How do you begin to reclaim the gold you have been seeing in everyone else? The healing journey does not begin with a grand action. It begins with a quiet internal shift, a courageous change in how you see. It begins with the reframe. We must consciously choose to give these painful feelings a new and sacred purpose. Your envy is not a sin. It is a treasure map. Let me say that again, because this is the key that unlocks everything. Your envy is not a sign of your weakness. It is a map pointing directly to your strength. The act of healing, then, is not to fight the envy or to shame yourself for it. The act of healing is to learn how to read the map. It is the art of retracting the projection, of turning the mirror around, away from her and back toward yourself. This can sound abstract, so I want to offer you a simple, concrete practice, a gentle way to begin this sacred work in the privacy of your own heart. I call it the Golden Shadow Journal. All you need is a pen, a piece of paper, and a moment of honest reflection. The next time you feel that powerful sting of envy, that magnetic pull toward another woman's life, I want you to pause. Instead of turning away from the feeling in shame, turn toward it with curiosity. And on your paper, you will answer 3 questions. First, who is the person? Name her. Second, What are the specific qualities in her that I am envying right now? Be precise. It is not her whole life you envy. Is it her courage, her freedom, her creativity, her discipline, her unapologetic joy? Name at least 3 specific qualities. And now, the third question. This is the most important step. This is the act of calling the projection home. You will ask yourself, where in my own life, even in a small, forgotten way, have I ever embodied a crumb of this quality? You're not looking for a mountain, you're looking for a single grain of sand. Let's go back to Susan. She is looking at the photo of her acquaintance in Europe. She picks up her journal. Question 1. Who? Her old acquaintance, Sarah. Question 2. What qualities? She writes, freedom, courage to travel alone, prioritizing her own pleasure. Now, question 3. The search for the crumb. Susan closes her eyes, and at first her mind is blank. She thinks, I am not free, I am not courageous, but she stays with it. And then a memory surfaces, a small one. Years ago, she took a weekend trip by herself to a small coastal town, just for 2 days. She remembers the feeling of walking on the beach alone, of eating dinner by herself with a book, the quiet joy of it. She writes it down. That was a crumb of freedom. Then she remembers a time at work when she spoke up in a meeting against an idea everyone else supported. Her heart was pounding, but she did it. She writes it down. That was a crumb of courage. Do you feel the shift happening here? This is not just an intellectual exercise, it is a profound act of soul retrieval. With every crumb you acknowledge, you are taking a piece of your own disowned gold back from the screen of the other woman and replanting it in the soil of your own soul. You are starving the envy of its power because you are proving to your own psyche that the quality you admire already lives within you. It is not out there in her, it is in here, waiting. This practice is the beginning of what Jung called integration. You are bringing the forgotten contents of your shadow back into the light of your consciousness. You are making yourself more whole. And what about the dark shadow? What about the woman who simply irritates you? The practice is the same, but the question is slightly different. You ask, what is she doing that I have forbidden myself from doing? Perhaps you judge her for setting a firm boundary because you have never allowed yourself to say no. Perhaps you judge her for resting because you are addicted to your own exhaustion. Again, she is not the problem. She is the mirror. Every woman in your life is a doorway back to yourself. This work is not about becoming someone else. It is not about trying to replicate another woman's life. It is about using the energy of your emotional reactions to reclaim the lost pieces of your own unique identity. You are not trying to steal her gold. You are finally giving yourself permission to mine your own. But once you begin to own your own light, once you start to feel the weight of this inner gold in your own hands, a new question emerges. How do you stop fighting the war altogether? How do you finally lay down the heavy armor of comparison and learn to walk through the world with an open heart?
The first step in laying down your armor is to realize who you were actually fighting. The enemy was never the other woman. The enemy was a lie. A lie whispered into the heart of every woman in our culture so quietly we thought it was our own truth. It is the lie of scarcity. The lie that there is only so much room at the top. The lie that there is only so much beauty to go around. The lie that there is a finite amount of success, of love, of worthiness. And if she has it, then there is less for you. This lie is the invisible engine of the silent war. It is what turns potential allies into perceived threats. It is what forces us to build our armor, plate by heavy plate, of perfectionism, of comparison, of guardedness, We wear this armor for so long, we forget it is even there. We only feel its weight, its crushing exhaustion. So the path to healing, the path to true connection, begins with a courageous act of rebellion against this lie. It begins with the conscious choice to lay down your armor. What does this mean in practice? It does not mean becoming weak or defenseless. It means choosing to be real. Laying down your armor is the choice of authenticity over perfection. It is the courage to be seen in your struggle, not just in your strength. It is the radical act of revealing your humanity in a world that pressures you to perform your divinity. Every time you pretend you have it all together, when you are falling apart inside, you are polishing your armor. Every time you hide a failure or a fear, you are adding another heavy plate. And every time you do this, you make it harder for other women to lay down their armor too. You perpetuate the war. The truce begins when one woman is brave enough to be the first to show her true self. It is a sacred offering, an invitation. It communicates the most healing message one woman can give to another. You are not alone in this. I am not perfect either. It is safe to be human here. So here is your practice, your quiet act of truce. This is not about confronting anyone. It is not about having a difficult conversation. It is a gentle, personal act of bravery. This week, I invite you to find one moment with one woman you trust and offer her a small piece of your truth. This is not a grand confession about your deepest wounds. It is the quiet courage to say, I am feeling overwhelmed today, or I am struggling with this decision, or I feel like I am failing at this. You are not asking for a solution. You are not complaining. You are simply offering your authenticity. You are taking off one small piece of your armor and placing it on the table between you. This will feel vulnerable. It will feel like a risk. Your old programming will scream at you. Don't show weakness. Keep it together. But I want you to remember this. Vulnerability is the birthplace of connection. Perfection creates distance. Authenticity creates a bridge. And something miraculous happens when you offer your authentic truth. You give the other woman permission to offer hers in return. When you lay down your armor, she feels safe enough to lay down hers too. And in that space, where two authentic souls can meet without their armor, competition cannot survive. Judgment cannot take root. Envy dissolves. And what is left is the sacred ground of true sisterhood. This is how the war ends. Not with a bang, but with a whisper of truth. One honest conversation at a time. One act of authentic sharing at a time. You do not have to end the entire war yourself. You only have to declare peace in your own heart and in your own relationships. This is how you move from comparison to connection. You stop performing and you start revealing. But what happens in this new sacred space? What is the true purpose of a sisterhood built not on competition, but on shared truth? That is where we discover the profound power we have been denying ourselves all along.
We have journeyed far today, from the silent battlefield of comparison to the deep psychological truth of the mirror. We stood before the screen of another woman's life, and instead of seeing a rival, we chose to see a reflection. We learned that the women who trigger our deepest insecurities are showing us the disowned parts of our dark shadow. And we learned the most liberating truth of all, that the women who trigger our most painful envy are reflecting the unlived gold of our own soul. Your envy is not a flaw, it is a map. Your competition is not a character defect, it is a classroom. We learned that the real enemy was never her, it was the lie of scarcity. And we discovered the path to peace,
the courageous, vulnerable act of laying down our armor, of choosing authenticity over perfection, of whispering our truth, and in doing so, giving another woman the permission to whisper hers. This is the harvest of our work today, but it leads to a final, profound question. What is the purpose of this truce? Why do we do this difficult work of healing the sisterhood wound? We do it because a woman alone, burdened by comparison and armor, has a limited power. But a circle of women who have laid down their armor, who are committed to reflecting each other's gold, that is not a circle, that is a sun. It generates a collective light, a power so immense it can heal not just the women within it, but the world around it. The purpose of sisterhood is not simply to feel supported. It is to become a force of nature, to create a space where each woman's golden shadow is not a source of envy, but a contribution to the collective brilliance. This is the world that is possible when we stop fighting the silent war. This is the power that has been waiting for you all along. So, today, as a declaration to your own soul and as an invitation to the women in your life, I ask you to come to the comments below and to anchor this new commitment with a simple, powerful statement. I am laying down my armor. Let this be a witness to your choice, a first courageous step onto the sacred ground of connection. And as you begin to walk this new path, as you open your heart to a more authentic way of being with other women, you may notice something. This new connection requires energy. This new vulnerability requires a strong container. And to sustain it, you must first learn to honor the boundaries of your own sacred space. So often, after giving so much of ourselves, we can feel touched out, a deep exhaustion that demands solitude. Understanding and honoring that need is not selfish. It is the essential foundation for all healthy relationships. And reclaiming that sacred space is precisely what we will explore together in our next video. In that video, you will find new tools to help you honor your own boundaries so that you can connect with others from a place of wholeness, not depletion. Until then, be gentle with yourself. The truce has just begun.